Long ago, there was a large plain called Adachigahara in the province of Mutsu in Japan. This place was said to be haunted by a cannibal goblin who took the form of an old woman. From time to time, many travelers disappeared and were never heard of more. And the girls washing the household lice at the river in the mornings whispered dreadful stories of how missing folk had been lured to the goblin's cottage and devoured. For the goblin lived only on human flesh. No one ventured near the haunted spot after sunset, and those who could avoided it in the daytime. Travelers were warned of the dreadful place. One day, as the sun was setting, a Buddhist priest came to the plain. He was a berated traveler, walking from shrine to shrine to pray for some blessing or for forgiveness of sins. He had apparently lost his way, and as it was getting late, there was no one to show him to the correct road or warn him of the dreaded place. He had walked the whole day and was now hungry and cold, for the autumn evenings were very chilly. He desperately sought some house where he could find a night's lodging. He found himself lost in the midst of some large plain and looked about in vain for some sign of human habitation. At last, after wandering for some hours, he caught a glimmer of light in the distance.
Oh, surely that is some cottage where I can get a night's lodging.
Keeping the light before his eyes, he dragged his weary, aching feet as quickly as he could towards the spot, and soon came to a miserable-looking cottage.
Oh, Bosan, good evening. I am a traveler. Please excuse me, but I have lost my way and do not know what to do, for I have nowhere to rest tonight. I beg you to be good enough to let me spend the night under your roof.
I am very sorry for you. You must indeed be distressed to have lost your way in such a lonely spot so late at night. Unfortunately, I cannot put you up, for I have no bed to offer you, and no accommodation for a guest in this poor place.
Oh, that doesn't matter. All I want is shelter under some roof for the night, and if you will be good enough just to let me lie on the floor, I shall be grateful. I am too tired to walk further tonight, so I hope you will not refuse me, otherwise I shall have to sleep out on the cold plain.
And in this way, he pressed the old woman to let him stay.
Very well, I will let you stay here. I can offer you a very poor welcome only, but come in now, and I will make a fire, for the night is cold.
The pilgrim was only too glad to do as he was told, and entered into the cottage. The old woman brought some sticks of wood and lit the fire, and bade her guest to draw near and warm himself.
You must be hungry after your long tramp. I will go and cook some supper for you.
After the priest had finished his lice, the old woman sat by the fireplace, and they talked together for a long time. At last the wood gave out, and as the fire died slowly down, he began to shiver with cold, just as he had done when he arrived.
I see you are cold. I will go out and gather some wood, for we have used it all. You must stay and take care of the house while I am gone.
No, no, let me go instead, for you are old, and I cannot think of letting you go out to get wood for me this cold night.
You must stay quietly here, for you are my guest. You must sit where you are, and not move. And whatever happens, don't go near or look behind this door. Now mind what I tell you.
If you tell me not to go near or look behind the door, of course I won't.
The fire was dying out, and the loom grew darker. For the first time that night, he began to feel that he was in a weird place, and the old woman's words, "Whatever you do, don't peep inside that door," aroused his curiosity and his fear. What hidden thing could be behind that door that she did not wish him to see? For some time the remembrance of his promise to the old woman kept him still, but at last he could no longer resist his curiosity to peep behind the forbidden door. He got up and began to move slowly towards the door. Then the thought that the old woman would be very angry with him if he disobeyed her made him come back to his place by the fireside. As the minutes went slowly by and the old woman did not return, he began to feel more and more frightened, and to wonder what dreadful secret was behind the door. He must find out.
She will not know that I have looked unless I tell her. I will just have a peep before she comes back.
With these words, he got up on his feet and stealthily crept toward the forbidden door. With trembling hands, he reached for the knob, turned it, and opened the door. What he saw froze the blood in his veins. The loom was full of human remains and bones. The sickening smell made him faint. He fainted from horror, and for some time lay on the floor with fright, a pitiful sight. He trembled all over, and he could hardly crawl away from the dreadful spot.
How horrible! What awful den have I come to in my travels? May Buddha help me or I am lost. Is it possible that that kind old woman is Lily the cannibal goblin? When she comes back she will show herself in her true character and eat me up at one mouthful.
With these words, his strength came back to him, and he rushed out of the house as fast as his legs could carry him. Out into the night he ran, his one thought to get as far as he could from the goblin's haunt. He had not gone far when he heard steps behind him, and a voice crying,
"Stop! Stop!"
He ran on, doubling his speed, pretending not to hear.
"Stop!
As he ran, he heard the steps behind him come nearer and
Stop.
nearer, and at last he recognized the old woman's voice, which grew louder and louder as she came nearer.
Stop, you wicked man! Why did you look into the forbidden loom?
The priest quite forgot how tired he was and his feet flew over the ground faster than ever. Fear gave him strength, for he knew that if the goblin caught him, he would soon be one of her victims. With all his heart, he repeated the prayer to Buddha.
Namu Amida Butsu, Namu Amida Butsu.
And after him rushed the dreadful old hag. She began to transform into something horrible and hideous, changing into the demon that she was, still yelling,
Stop! Stop! You wicked man!
At last, when the priest felt he could run no more, the dawn broke, and with the darkness of night, the goblin vanished, and he was safe. The priest now knew he had met the Goblin of Adachigahara, the story of whom he had often heard of, but never believed to be true. He felt that he had owed his wonderful escape to the protection of Buddha, to whom he had prayed for help. So he took his rosary, and bowing his head as the sun rose, he said his prayers and made his thanksgiving earnestly. He then set forward for another part of the country, only too glad to leave the haunted plain behind him.